so I'm also doing a video for my final project, and me and Michael are kind of doing the same concept here, where we didn't really answer the questions prior to doing this. We're kind of just going through it, and we are answering it as we go, and that's more so it doesn't seem super formulated. The answers aren't repetitive and whatnot, and they just seem more honest. You know what I mean? So if I look down at my phone, I got the questions pulled up right here. So going into it, the first question would be, over the course of the past semester, how have you been able to increase your arena? Which would be the no to self and no to others. I think I'd be able to increase that, or I have been able to, by finding like people to talk to, whether that be, my CFI at my flight school, some of the other people at my flight school, people that are, working on the same thing as me, or, the group in our group project here that we did, the student success project, with Caleb and Kiara and Zach. Those guys are all great, to talk to and to find help and, all that kind of good stuff. So I think that's how I've been able to increase it, by just, talking to people, finding people to talk to. How have I been able to increase your rate? Right, well, I kind of just answered that. How has this impacted personal, professional, and academic success? So, to touch on the professional and academic, those kind of go hand in hand with aviation, and the arena area. You can go physical appearance. Just gotta clean yourself up when it comes to aviation, flight school. You gotta have a certain dress code and whatnot. Just all the visual things that people can see. That's part of the arena. And that's pretty much all that is for me. If you've not been able to increase your arena, in what ways can you make progress in doing so? I think there's definitely still progress to be made, increasing in that area, and that's kind of being more open to people. And I kind of have a problem with that, because I'm not super open to a lot of people. There's only, a few people in my family, my girlfriend, Michael, a couple of my friends here and there, but I don't really like being super open to people, because then it can create problems in the blind spot, which I feel like would be a good segment, having things transfer over the blind spot like that, like how people would think of me, you know what I mean? So if I'm trying to be outgoing, I don't want to be the person that's like super annoying, you know what I mean? Or like, super, talkative, and you feel like you can't really have a conversation with them because they just talk over you. And I don't really like being that person, so that's kind of one of the ways I've been able to decrease my blind spot. And this is impacting my personal, professional, and academic success by allowing to hear what other people have to say, and not, I guess I want to make sense. So, having that has impacted me, let's see, by, I don't know to me, but no to others. So that, I feel like that has impacted me and just the idea of the blind spot to be a little more conservative on how I express myself. You know what I mean? So it's like not trying to be super, outgoing, and just kind of keeping to myself, and reaching out when I need to, but not, in all cases. You know what I mean? That's kind of a hard question for me. But if you have not been able to decrease your blind spot, what ways can you make progress in doing so? I think you can make progress in decreasing that blind spot by, simply asking people to tell you what they think of you. Asking people to be open, and maybe not putting them in an uncomfortable situation to where they don't want to talk to you about it. You know what I mean? Just trying to maintain your boundaries in that situation for me, honestly. So in what ways do you expect this to impact your personal, professional, and academic success? So, that's a good question. How does impact that if I I think I would get more honest feedback from people, you know, on whether that be my CFI or any of the other aviation buddies that I have, learn the same things as me. I think that would really help me, you know what people think. And, maybe that'll help me, get better, like, I don't know, maybe get into the industry a little easier. So yeah, I mean, that's another difficult question for me, but yeah, so now, how have you been able to decrease your hidden/mask area? So notice how I've been able to decrease. I've been able to do that by being more of an absolutist and by just telling people up front. You can ask Michael. I'm very upfront with some of the people he brings over. I don't try and not be myself around them. You know what I mean? So I try and just be as truthful and honest as I can to everyone that I meet. I don't try and sugarcoat how I feel, or if I don't like something, I'll tell them. Just that kind of mindset has really helped me decrease that hidden or masked area. And how's that impacted my personal, professional, and academic success? I think personally, I think that has really helped some of my relationships, because honesty is super key, and that whether it be with my family or my girlfriend or some of my friends, just being upfront and honest. Academically, I think that has really helped me learn what I don't know. You know what I mean? So if I have a question and my CFI, my instructor doesn't know that I don't know that stuff, kind of sounded weird. I'm not afraid to ask, what do you mean by this? What does this mean? How do you do this? Those kind of things, what are the rules for X, Y, and Z? Professional, I mean, I haven't really gotten into much professional stuff, to be honest, so I can't really, answer that one super well. You've not been able to decrease your blind spot. I think that's one of my big strengths, is decreasing that blind spot and being upfront to people. So I think that that's been a really big strong suit for me. In what ways do you expect this to impact? I already answered that with them before. Are you any closer to understanding why you have had a mask, and where do you stand in relation to allow others to see you behind your mask? Why or why not? I don't really have a mask, so that one's a hard one to answer. I guess that's the why not, is because I don't have a mask, I guess. I'm just really truthful and open and transparent to people, how I think of them. And I tell them how they think of me, I guess. I guess that'd be a good blind spot one, is that I want people to tell me what they think of me. I don't want them to hide it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's that. On to number 5. Let's see, question 5. What have you discovered over the past semester about your unknown areas? So the unknown areas of the future. This is good. So, my future, I have found that, aviation is awesome. I applied to ASU not knowing I was going to do aviation until the night I filled out my application. I looked at my brother and I was like, hey, or I called him and I was like, hey, what are you doing for your application? He's like, sorry, my dad just walked in. I looked at my brother and I called him and I was like, hey, what are you going to do for college or degree? He's like, well, I'm going to be a pilot. I was like, okay, I guess I'll be a pilot too. So, I didn't know my future, and I still don't know what my future's gonna hold. My girlfriend's moving down in a month, and for good, and who knows what that's gonna be like. She's coming down to visit, but there's plenty of other stuff when people move in for good. Untapped potential, I have a couple things written down, because this is a little difficult one. Untapped potential, I mean, yeah, it's hard to reflect on this one, because you don't really know. That's why it's unknown to you and unknown to others, is because it's hard to, figure out. Nobody knows what it's going to be like. Let's look back at this. So, what you discovered over the past semester about your unknown area? I mean, it's still really unknown. I don't know much more about it than I did at the start of this semester. How's this impacting professional, personal, and academic success? So, this has impacted almost all three of these. Personally, this has impacted my personal life because, these unknown things, I try and have a good attitude about it. I have a good attitude about my future as a pilot. I have a good attitude about my girlfriend moving down, learning new things, X, Y, and Z. Always try to have a good attitude towards those things. And usually if you have a good attitude, things turn out good. You pursue it, with passion, and things turn out good. Professional, about the same thing with aviation. It's, just put your nose to the grindstone, just keep going. Study, fly, do the best you can, learn from your mistakes, which I've definitely had a couple close calls, but that's okay. You learn. I know what not to do now. That's how it goes. Academic, this is a big one. I didn't know how the year was going to go, and now, looking back, I still don't know how the future's going to go for DC, but, the best thing to do is just have a good attitude towards it, and I think if you have a good attitude towards everything, it's all going to be fine. I think everything, in your life can come back to your attitude towards how you approach things. So if you have a bad attitude, you're not going to try hard and you're going to fail. If you have a good attitude, your chances of succeeding go way up. And I think that's always been a strong suit of mine, is to just have a good attitude towards things. If you look back at my first journal, you can see that, I didn't know what this class was going to be like, but I was hopeful and, maybe it making a difference. And I think it has a lot, actually. I think this class has been awesome. And I'm glad I was, put in it and able to take it. The people in the class were great. You were great as a teacher. And I think it's all about an attitude towards, what you're pursuing. So, I think that's all I got. I kind of forgot to write stuff down here. But I talked through it, so I think it should be fine. But I think that's pretty much it. Just want to say thank you for being an awesome teacher. You made this really enjoyable, just kind of a playful manner in class, not, over serious when it comes to certain things, and just making it enjoyable for all of us, especially with me and Michael, us going back and forth and you picking on us. It's been awesome. So just want to say thank you, and that's been that. Have a good one.